Welcome to our journey through the dawn of science and philosophy. In this documentary, we will explore the lives and groundbreaking ideas of ancient philosophers and scientists who shaped the foundation of modern knowledge. From Thales, who sought to explain the natural world, to Aristotle, whose wisdom spanned from biology to ethics, these thinkers unlocked the mysteries of the universe. Join us as we trace the origins of science, mathematics, and medicine, and discover how their legacy still impacts our world today. This is the story of ancient brilliance and the birth of scientific thought.
Long before modern science was born, there was a man who dared to think differently. His name was Thales, a philosopher and mathematician from the ancient city of Miletus, in what is now Turkey. Thales is considered one of the first individuals to seek natural explanations for the world around him rather than relying on mythology and superstition. Born around 624 BCE, Thales asked questions that no one had asked before. He wanted to know how the world worked, not through the will of gods but through logic and reason. He believed that water was the fundamental substance from which all things came. While this idea may seem simple by today's standards, it was revolutionary for its time. Thales is often remembered for predicting a solar eclipse in 585 BCE, one of the earliest recorded instances of a scientific prediction. He also made significant contributions to geometry, including what we now call Thales's theorem, which deals with the properties of circles. But what truly made Thales remarkable wasn't just his theories, it was his way of thinking. Thales didn't have telescopes or advanced tools. What he had was curiosity, observation, and reason. He laid the foundation for the scientific method, inspiring generations of philosophers and scientists to come. Thales may not have had all the answers, but he sparked a way of thinking that would change the course of human history. He taught us that the world could be understood through knowledge, not myth. And in doing so, Thales became one of the first heroes of science. Following in the footsteps of Thales, there came another mind who saw the world in numbers. His name was Pythagoras, a philosopher and mathematician who lived around 570 BCE. But Pythagoras was no ordinary mathematician. He believed that everything in the universe could be explained through mathematics. Pythagoras founded a school of thought in ancient Greece, where his followers explored the deep connections between numbers, nature, and the cosmos. To Pythagoras, numbers were not just symbols, they were the building blocks of reality. One of his most famous contributions is what we now call the Pythagorean theorem. This geometric principle describes the relationship between the sides of a right triangle and has become a fundamental concept in mathematics. Even thousands of years later, it is still used in fields like engineering, physics, and architecture. But Pythagoras didn't stop at mathematics. He saw numbers in music, discovering that harmonious sounds could be explained by mathematical ratios. This revelation led him to believe that the universe itself was governed by harmony, a concept that would inspire scientists and musicians alike for centuries. Yet, for all his contributions, Pythagoras remained a mysterious figure. His teachings were often shrouded in secrecy, and much of what we know about him comes from his followers. Pythagoras was not just a mathematician, he was a philosopher, a mystic, and a thinker who believed that numbers held the key to understanding the universe. Pythagoras left behind more than a theorem. He left behind a vision of the universe where math, music, and nature are inextricably linked. His legacy continues to resonate in the fields of science, philosophy, and art. Truly, he was one of the great heroes of science. In ancient Greece, one man laid the foundations for modern medicine by shifting the understanding of disease from the divine to the natural world. His name was Hippocrates, a physician whose approach to diagnosing and treating illnesses would influence medicine for centuries. Known as the father of medicine, Hippocrates emphasized the importance of observation, diagnosis, and ethics in medical practice. Born around 460 BCE on the island of Kos, Hippocrates is best remembered for the Hippocratic Oath, a code of ethics that doctors still reference today. He believed that diseases were caused by natural factors, not punishment from the gods. His holistic approach to health emphasized the balance of the four bodily humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. This theory, though outdated today, was a groundbreaking step in the evolution of medicine. Hippocrates' methods encouraged careful observation of patients and recording symptoms, leading to more accurate diagnoses. He also promoted a rational approach to treatment, advocating for rest, a healthy diet, and hygiene. His teachings formed the basis for clinical medicine, guiding doctors to treat patients based on their unique conditions rather than relying on superstition. Hippocrates' influence on the field of medicine is immeasurable. His ethical principles and rational approach to diagnosing and treating illness established a legacy that continues to shape modern medical practice. His place as one of the true heroes of science remains undeniable. In the ancient world, there was one man who saw the potential of machines and mathematical principles in ways that no one else had before. His name was Archimedes, a mathematician, physicist, and engineer from Syracuse. Born around 287 BCE, Archimedes would become one of the greatest minds of antiquity, leaving behind a legacy that would influence science for millennia. Archimedes is perhaps most famous for his principle of buoyancy. Legend has it that he discovered this principle while taking a bath, when he noticed the water rising as he sat down. Excited by his discovery, he ran through the streets shouting, "Eureka!" meaning, "I have found it." This principle is now known as Archimedes' principle, which explains why objects float or sink in a fluid. But Archimedes wasn't just interested in water. He was a brilliant engineer who designed war machines such as the Archimedean screw, used to pump water, and sophisticated siege engines that defended his city from Roman invasion. His mechanical innovations were so advanced that they were used for centuries after his death. In mathematics, Archimedes is known for his work on geometry. He discovered formulas to calculate the area of shapes like circles and the surface area of spheres. His method of exhaustion, a precursor to modern calculus, allowed him to estimate the value of pi with remarkable accuracy. Despite his incredible achievements, Archimedes remained humble and focused on pure knowledge. When the Romans finally captured Syracuse, it is said that Archimedes was so absorbed in his mathematical work that he didn't even notice the invaders. Tragically, his life was cut short, but his contributions to science and engineering have endured. Archimedes was more than a mathematician. He was a visionary who saw the hidden potential of mechanics and numbers. His ideas shaped the foundations of modern science and engineering, earning him a place among the greatest heroes of science. Over 2,000 years ago, one man revolutionized mathematics with his systematic approach to geometry. His name was Euclid, and his work, The Elements, would become one of the most influential books in the history of mathematics. Known as the father of geometry, Euclid's principles laid the foundation for the field of geometry as we know it today. Little is known about Euclid's life, but his contributions to mathematics are legendary. In The Elements, Euclid compiled and organized all the known knowledge about geometry into a logical and systematic framework. His work defined key concepts such as points, lines, and planes, and presented geometric proofs that are still taught in classrooms worldwide. Euclid's rigorous approach to proving mathematical theorems set a standard for logical reasoning that has endured for millennia. His work on geometry became the foundation for disciplines ranging from architecture to astronomy. The Elements was so influential that it remained the primary textbook for teaching mathematics well into the 19th century. Euclid's systematic approach to geometry and his dedication to logical reasoning have cemented his place as one of the greatest mathematicians in history. His work continues to shape the study of mathematics, making him a true hero of science. In ancient Greece, one philosopher sought to explain the natural world through observation, logic, and reason. His name was Aristotle, and his work laid the foundation for much of Western science and philosophy. Aristotle's approach to studying biology, physics, and the natural world influenced centuries of scientific thought, earning him a lasting legacy as one of history's greatest thinkers. Born in 384 BCE in Macedonia, Aristotle was a student of Plato and the teacher of Alexander the Great. His work spanned a wide range of subjects including biology, physics, ethics, and metaphysics. Unlike his predecessors, who often relied on abstract reasoning, Aristotle emphasized observation and empirical evidence in studying nature. Aristotle is often regarded as the father of biology for his detailed observations of plants and animals. He classified living organisms and studied their anatomy, paving the way for the biological sciences. He also made significant contributions to logic, developing the syllogism, a method of reasoning that would influence scientific inquiry for centuries. Aristotle's emphasis on empirical observation and his contributions to logic, biology, and natural philosophy have made him one of the most influential figures in the history of science. His work continues to shape how we study and understand the natural world, securing his place as a true hero of science. In the 3rd century BCE, one man used simple geometry to make a groundbreaking discovery about the size of our planet. His name was Eratosthenes, a Greek mathematician and geographer who became the first person to measure the Earth's circumference with remarkable accuracy. Born in 276 BCE in Cyrene, Eratosthenes later became the chief librarian at the Library of Alexandria, one of the most prestigious institutions of the ancient world. It was here that he conducted his famous experiment to measure the Earth's circumference. Using observations of the sun's angles at different locations, Eratosthenes calculated the Earth's size with an error margin of less than 2%. Eratosthenes also made significant contributions to the field of geography. He developed one of the earliest maps of the known world and introduced the concept of latitude and longitude. His work laid the foundation for future generations of explorers and geographers, and his methods continued to influence the field for centuries. Eratosthenes' ability to combine mathematics with observation to make groundbreaking discoveries has secured his place in the history of science. His work in geography and his accurate measurement of the Earth's size continue to inspire scientists and explorers to this day.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through the ancient world of science and philosophy. In the next episode, we'll explore the remarkable contributions of scientists and thinkers from the Middle Ages as knowledge continued to evolve across centuries. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter in our story. See you soon.